And hello everyone from Lights and Gear. I'm back with another flashlight review, and today is a little light from the folks at Amutorch. This was supplied by my friends at Banggood, so if you're interested, of course, you can take a look at their product page for this flashlight on their website. This is the Amutorch AX2, and it is an EDC light. It's a very small EDC light that does run on an 18650 battery. So as you can see here, not much on the box, pretty generic. And inside it's again pretty simple packaging and so forth, without much in the way of accessories. The manual is here, but unfortunately it's one of these lights where the manual does not, at least I was not given an English manual. So not much help here. I was able to get some information from the Banggood site regarding the light. So other than that, there's not really much to talk about as far as this is concerned. Only a couple of things in here actually in English. So anyway, there's the manual. Here are a couple of O-rings, which they supply as spares, of course. And here is the flashlight. It's a rather interesting light, two-tone actually, and it's pretty small, only about 4 inches long, so it has good compactability, if you will, as far as an EDC light goes. And it has what I have seen is a minimal of modes and so forth, and also, as you can see, there's really not much in the way of markings on it, except for their little emblem here, Amutorch, and actually on the bottom it does say AX2. Rather unique in that respect. But this part here, the barrel is actually very, very shiny, although it has a little bit of almost like a tiny bit of knurling, I guess, in there. There's not much. I haven't tried this with wet hands or anything, but I don't think you get that much of a grip on it in most circumstances. The clip is on here, obviously, and that will offer a little bit of gripping action, I suppose, but other than that, it's pretty smooth here, and there's really not much to grab onto. This little piece here, which is kind of a ring for a lanyard, I would say, and it actually doesn't hold still. It kind of shifts around and spins around. You can always take that off, of course. So anyway, you have the tail cap here, and let me just show you as we undo that. I have already taken the liberty of putting a battery in here, but here's your spring in the cap, and reasonably decent threads here, and there's an O-ring right there. But so I have put a powerful 30Q battery in here just to be able to show the top brightness of the light. So, and also in here is a spring up in the top. So it does accept flat top batteries quite well. So you can keep that in mind. The cap goes on very well. And here is your LED, which is actually an XPL HD. And the reflector here is smooth, so it does get reasonable throw. And your switch here obviously controls everything. The tail stands, of course, nothing on the bottom. Tail stands very, very well. So anyway, your switch here handles everything. And among some of the particulars of the light, which we haven't spoken about, mainly because the manual doesn't really offer much assistance there, but the top lumen is 1100, which is pretty darn bright, and your range of beam is about 500 meters, I think, on the turbo mode. It is supposed to come in both a natural white and a cool white, or it should be available in those tones. This happens to be the cool white here. So it does have 4 modes. I really don't know the output on the other modes except for the turbo at around 1100. The other modes I do not know what the output is, and I don't have any accurate way of measuring them to the point where I can say what they are. As far as runtime is concerned, I think it might get about 80 minutes out of turbo, and then about 2 hours and 10 from high, 3 hours from medium, and probably about 30 hours for low. So those are the modes from low, medium, high to turbo. Now on the product page for this light at Banggood, it does say something about it being a stepless flashlight, you know, for ramping, but I don't know where that came from. There is nothing on this light to indicate that it would do that. So as I have it here, it is 4 distinguishable modes. And some of the other bits of information, of course, it uses the 6061 aluminum alloy, and it's relatively lightweight, and it has SOS on it. Pardon me, strobe. It doesn't have SOS, it has strobe. But let me just turn off the other light over here. And of course it has mode memory, but it does have mode memory. And a single click turns the light on, and a holding press turns it off. And we have the low mode right here, right now. Let me just make sure I'm backed up here on the camera. So we have the low mode here right now, and that's not terribly, that's not overly low. So low mode in complete darkness will get you all the light you need, as you can see. And the beam is pretty nice. It doesn't have many artifacts in it, and it has good spill there from a center spot. So one click, of course, will go to medium, and then another click will go to high. And if you just keep clicking, it'll just go low, medium, high. But there is turbo, and I'll go up to high, and then to get the turbo, you double click. So there's the bump up to turbo, and you can actually notice it fairly well. And then if I do another click from turbo, it'll go back down to high, and then another click again will go down to low. So there's medium, there's high, double click for, oh, I actually got into strobe that time. Double click, and there's turbo, and then a single click and back down to high. So strobe is supposed to be with 3 clicks. Double clicking will get you to turbo, and then 1, 2, 3 gets you to the strobe mode. And then a single click from strobe will go back to the previous mode. And those are the only modes of the light. Just the high, medium, low, double click for turbo, and then strobe. So it's a very, very simple to operate light for people who don't like a lot of don't like too many bells and whistles and too many choices and other modes to have to program in and so forth and so on. So it does what it needs to do. And again, a single click will get you back to the first mode, and if you want to turn it off, just a holding press like that. So that's it in a nutshell as far as the operation of it. And let's see, if I turn it off, let me just go back down to low and then turn it off, and I'm pretty sure the double click from here will get us to turbo, and it does. So from the off position, you can certainly get to turbo with a double click, and you can certainly get to strobe with a triple click. And the information on the Banggood page does say something about it locking and unlocking, or having an unlock, or having a lock feature. And it seems to say something about clicking it 4 times, but I've done that a number of times and it does nothing. The flashlight will, I can show it to you right now. If I turn it off and then click it 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, it'll do a couple of blinks here, but it doesn't do anything different. I can still click through all the modes just the same way as I did before. So I don't know if that's supposed to. Obviously it's not. serving any particular purpose, but it was just the way it was written on their product page that gave me the indication that it said there was supposed to be a locking and unlocking feature, you know, to prevent accidental activation. And from the way it was written, it gave me the impression that it was supposed to be pressed 4 times in order to activate that, but obviously it doesn't. So, and I haven't actually been running it that long, so I haven't left it on turbo long enough to see if it actually has a step-down feature or anything of that nature, or how long it'll actually stay on turbo. But if I find anything out like that, I'll certainly put that in the notes and let you know if it in fact stays on turbo indefinitely. Although it starts to get a little bit warm even playing around with it on those modes, so I imagine if it stays on turbo it's going to get warm to hot fairly quickly. I do want to show you the outdoor beam shots that I took of it, so that's an important part. So right now let me show you the outdoor shots on the low, medium, high, and turbo mode. I hope you've enjoyed those outdoor shots. Again, if you want to pick up the Amutorch, I would advise you to hit the link below in the description. That'll take you to the Banggood product page where you can pick one up there. And there's also a coupon code to save a few bucks. Anyway, that's the Amutorch AX2. Hope you've enjoyed the video. There's obviously more at lightsandgear.com if you want to visit over there for flashlights, batteries, and chargers. I do thank you for watching. You take care. Bye-bye.